Hello, my name is Diego Hernandez, and today I will be your English teacher. And hopefully, I'll be able to help you solve the language issue revolving the words peak, peak, and peak. So, where does the issue lie? Well, they all sound the same. These three words sound the same, but they mean different things, and well, that can cause problems in writing because you want to know which version to use, but you won't be able to tell because, well, they all sound the same. Now they're spelled differently, but how can you differentiate between the spelling and the definition? Well, that's what I'm going to help you here with today. By starting off with the first version of the word peak, which is spelled Peak. I call this the mountain version, peak, because usually peak in this sense is associated with a high point, which is like a mountain, a peak, a mountain's peak. Second version of the word peak is spelled Peek. And in this version of the peak, you're kind of like, trying to take a peek at something. You're trying to take a quick glance. You're being sneaky. You're trying to take a peek. It's an action, and that's this version of the word peak. Now, third version of the word peak is spelled Pique. Now, this one's spelled differently than the other two. The other two only like have a one letter difference, but this one has like a more letter differences, and so hopefully it'll be easier to differentiate between this version and the other two versions. But in this sense of the word peak, it's like you're saying you've piqued my curiosity. It's an emotion that you feel. You feel like you're interested in something. You want to know more about it. That's this version of the word peak. So now that I've gone through all three versions of the word peak, I'll be providing with you some phrases that will help you differentiate and remember which version of peak to use in your future writing endeavors. So the first phrase is, I've reached the peak. What you want to remember in this phrase is the word reach and peak, because reach is spelled EA, and in this version of the word peak, it's spelled EA as well. So that'll hopefully help you remember that in this version, peak, mountain is spelled EA. Second phrase is, when you are peering, you are peaking. Now, what helps you remember in this phrase that peaking means, taking a quick glance, is that the word peering is spelled with two E's, and peaking is spelled with two E's in this sense as well. So if you remember the word peering and peaking in the same phrase, just like I said, when you're peering, you're peaking, that'll help you remember that, oh, in this version, peaking means I'm taking a quick look, I'm being sneaky. And now the last phrase that I will give you is, you have piqued my curiosity. You have piqued my curiosity. Now let me ask you a question. In this version of the word pique, you're being curious. Just using the word curious lets you know that it's an emotion. Your pique, you've caught my attention. Now the word question is spelled QUE, and that's the same thing with this version of the word peak. So if you remember the word question and peak and the way how they're spelled differently, they contain the same letters. Hopefully that'll help you remember that in this version of the word peak, it's more about the emotion of something catching your attention and wanting to know more about it. I hope these three phrases will be helpful to you, and thank you for your time. Hope you have a good day. Bye bye.